Good evening and welcome to TC Network. I am Tingnay Team Hokip bringing you today's news. Today's top headlines include 28 killed in 3 days, 40,000 evacuated amid heavy rain in Gujarat. National Sports Day being celebrated today. News in details. At least 28 people have been killed in the past 3 days in Gujarat as heavy rainfalls have caused floods in many parts of the state. Nearly 18,000 people have been evacuated from flood-hit areas, and the Weather Department has warned of extremely heavy rain in 11 districts today. According to the Gujarat government, fatalities were recorded in multiple districts, one death each in Morbi, Vadodara, Bharuch, Jamnagar, Aravali, Panchmahal, Dwarka and Dang, 6 in Anand, 4 in Ahmedabad, and 2 each in Gandhinagar, Kheda, Mahisagar, Dahod and Surendranagar. 7 of the victims include people who went missing when their tractor trolley was swept away by floodwaters while attempting to cross an inundated causeway near Dhavana village in Morbi, news agency PTI reported. The India Meteorological Department IMD has placed 11 districts in Gujarat under a red alert for rainfall, with an additional 22 districts under a yellow alert for Thursday. The IMD's red alert covers the Kanch and Saurashtra regions, affecting districts such as Kanch, Dwarka, Jamnagar, Morbi, Surendranagar, Junagadh, Rajkot, Botat, Gir Somnath, Amreli and Bhavnagar. A yellow alert has also been issued for parts of North, Central and South Gujarat. Prime Minister Narendra Modi called Gujarat Chief Minister Bhupendra Patel to assess the situation and assure the centre's support to the state. Although the rain has stopped in Vadodara, flooding incidents were reported in several low-lying areas after the Viswamitri River breached its bank and entered residential localities. Rescue efforts are ongoing, with more than 6,000 people being moved to safer locations as water levels in rivers and dams rise across Gujarat. In response to the crisis, the Gujarat government has called for the deployment of 6 Indian Army columns each in Dwarka, Anand, Vadodara, Kheda, Morbi and Rajkot districts to aid in relief operations. Furthermore, 14 National Disaster Response Force NDRF platoons and 22 State Disaster Response Force SDRF platoons have been mobilized to support disaster management efforts. Today at around 12 noon, NDA aspirants from the district were sent off to their exam center at LS Dynamic Coaching Center, the Science Institute, as Kanan Veng Song Pi Lamka. Students from the district who wish to write the National Defense Academy NDA examinations were sent off today with a blessing prayer from Pastor Alex Thang Rolian, UPC Mizoram. The pastor encourages the students to be confident and teaches them with lessons from the Bible. He quoted from the book of Matthew, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you." He teaches the students to respect their elders wherever they set their foot on. The pastor with the students the very best for their examinations. This is the first in the history of LS Dynamic Coaching Center to send out students for the NDA examinations. Out of 15 aspirants, 13 had the privilege to appear the examination. The students' exam center is at Mizoram. Sadly, no exam center for NDA exam has been set up in our district yet, and due to the ethnic tension, students had to take the trouble of traveling to the neighboring state, Mizoram, to appear the examination. The students had to spend thousands of money for traveling, accommodation and fooding. Mention may be made that LS Dynamic Coaching Center provides coaching classes for NEET, Class 11 and 12 Science, that is Physics, Chemistry and Maths coaching. The coaching center in the near future is also planning to provide coaching classes for NDA, CDS, CISF, SC, and other which are under UPSC Defense. LS Dynamic Coaching Center was recently inaugurated on the 10th of August this year by Ledzamang Hokip, Honorable MLA 57 Hinglip ST SC. The students were guided by proprietor of the coaching center, Solomon and Haupu. A circular dated the 27th of August 2024, bearing the subject Financial Upgradation under SCP/MSCP schemes to retire expired employees of EDM was copied to the Office of the Chief Engineer, Electricity Department, Government of Manipur. The circular reads, "It is hereby informed to all retired employees of the next of kin of expired employees of Electricity Department, Manipur, who have retired or expired after 1/7/2005 and who desire to avail the SCPI-MSCP scheme, to submit an application along with a copy of their PPO book for consideration of financial upgradation under SCP/MSCP scheme of the Government of Manipur as notified by Finance Department PIC Office Memorandum Number 16/28/2000 FD PIC dated 20 July 2005 and Office Memorandum Number 32/1/2010 FD PIC dated 9 October 2015 to the Office of the Undersigned or the EEMRT on or before 30 September 2024 and further processed." As the whole exercise of grant of financial upgradation under SCP/MSCP scheme is a lengthy and time-consuming process, and with the lack of staff handling SCP/MSCP matters, and in order to complete the whole exercise on time, it is further informed that no piecemeal requests after the last date shall be entertained. Security forces scaled up operations in Hilt and Valley districts of Manipur with emphasis on fringe and vulnerable areas. Arms and ammunition of considerable quantity recovered in a recent search operation at Wabagay Natehong Hulpali Ground, Kakching District, confirmed that the militancy is being pinned down in this part of the country. The recovered items include one 10 MKV rifle with 2 magazines, two 12-bore single-barrel rifles, two 9mm pistols with magazines, 9 HE-36 hand grenades, one stun grenade, 4 arming rings, 4 tube launchers, 29 live ammunitions, 22 fire cases, 3 BP jacket vests, 2 magazine pouches, and 1 Baofeng wireless set with charger. These were discovered during an extensive combing operation of the area, reflecting the zeal of security forces in keeping peace and order. Besides the search operations, the security forces ensured that the transportation of essential items across the state. As many as 87 vehicles along National Highway 37 and 116 vehicles along National Highway 2 were escorted safely, while strict security measures were implemented at all the vulnerable locations. To add to the securities, 101 nakals and checkpoints have been installed across various districts, detaining as many as 113 individuals for violations. A landslide triggered by heavy rainfall has partially damaged the under-construction Konpui railway station in Mizoram's Kolasip district. The incident occurred on Wednesday, August 28, with no reported casualties or injuries. Kapin Kishore Sharma, Chief Public Relations Officer of Northeast Frontier Railway, stated, "Under construction Konpui railway station in Mizoram was partially damaged due to landslide. There is no report of any casualty in the incident. The affected railway track is a crucial link connecting Mizoram to other northeast states. The India Meteorological Department (IMD) has forecasted continued light to moderate rainfall in the region throughout the week, potentially raising concerns about further landslides." Earlier on August 26, the Northeast Frontier Railways (NFR) had already faced challenges due to heavy rains and soil erosion along the interstate railway track between Assam and Mizoram. The disruption affected the road near Killarbak, approximately 60 km from Hailakandi town. This setback had led to a temporary halt in railway services between the states. West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjees has issued a strong warning amidst rising tensions over the recent rape and murder of 31-year-old doctor at Kolkata's RG Kar Medical College and Hospital. Speaking at a public event marking the foundation day of the Trinamool Congress student wing, Banerjees cautioned that the unrest in Bengal could have far-reaching consequences beyond the state. Remember, if Bengal is burned, then Assam, Bihar, Jharkhand, Odisha and Delhi will also be burned, Banerjees stated in what appears to be a direct address to her political opponents. The Chief Minister's remark comes as she faces mounting criticism over her handling of the situation, with opposition parties accusing her of failing to maintain law and order. Banerjees further criticized those she believes are attempting to destabilize the state, drawing a sharp distinction between India and Bangladesh. Some people think this is Bangladesh. Please remember, I love Bangladesh. They speak like us and their culture is the same as ours. But Bangladesh is a separate nation and India is a separate nation, she said. In a remark aimed at Prime Minister Modi, Banerjees accused his party of fueling unrest in Bengal. Modi, you are using your party to cause fire here. If you burn Bengal, Assam, Northeast, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Jharkhand, Odisha, and Delhi too shall burn. We will topple your chair, she declared. The brutal incident, which occurred on August 9, has triggered widespread protests, legal actions, and a nationwide call for justice. Initially dismissed as a suicide, the case has since become a flashpoint for public anger, with demands for accountability growing louder by the day. Tensions reached a boiling point on August 27 during a massive protest march, the Nabanna Abhijan, organized by the Paschim Banga Chhatra Samaj and Sangrami Jautha Mancha. The demonstration, which began peacefully, soon turned violent as protesters clashed with police in Kolkata and Howrah. The situation quickly escalated, with demonstrators breaking barricades, throwing stones and prompting the police to respond with tear gas, water cannons and lathi charges. The Central Bureau of Investigation has ramped up its investigation, including conducting lie detection tests on key suspects, such as the main accused, Sanjay Roy. The probe has also extended the potential cover-ups by hospital staff and local police. The Supreme Court, have taken so moto cognizance of the case, has pointed to significant lapses in the initial investigation and ordered a thorough inquiry into the matter. In a powerful and emotional statement, President Draupadi Murmu has expressed deep dismay and horror over the rape and murder of a doctor at Kolkata's RG Kar Medical College nearly 20 days ago. The President's remark marked her first public statement on the incident, which has sparked nationwide outrage. Addressing the issue of violence against women, President Murmu criticized the pervasive objectification of women and denounced a deplorable mindset that views women as lesser human beings, less powerful, and less intelligent. She emphasized that this mindset is deeply ingrained in society and leads to the constant harassment, assault, and brutalization of women. What is more depressing is that the Kolkata killing was not the only incident of its kind. It was part of a series of crimes against women, President Murmu said in a signed statement shared with news agency PTI. She condemned the obnoxious collective amnesia that has allowed countless rapes and assaults to be forgotten since the horrific Nirbhaya case in 2012. In the 12 years since Nirbhaya, countless rapes have been forgotten. This collective amnesia is obnoxious, the President declared. She lamented that despite the shock and outrage following Nirbhaya's death, society has failed to ensure that such tragedies never happen again. President Murmu highlighted the need for honest self-reflection in the face of the recent spate of crimes against women. She indirectly referenced other recent incidents, such as the rape of nurses in Uttarakhand and Maharashtra and the numerous sexual assault allegations against actors and directors in the Malayalam film industry. These incidents, she argued, should force the nation to confront its failings in protecting women. The brutal killing of the young doctor in Kolkata has sparked widespread protests from healthcare workers and civil society activists across the country. The incident has also ignited a political dispute between West Bengal's ruling Trinamool Congress and the opposition BJP. Despite Chief Minister Mamata Banerjees' calls for tougher laws to protect women, the central government pointed out that existing schemes to combat such crimes have not been effectively implemented. As the political blame games continues, President Murmu's words serve as a sobering reminder of the urgent need to address the deep-rooted issues of gender-based violence in India. Only societies scared to face history resort to collective amnesia. India must face history squarely, CRs, calling for a comprehensive effort to curb this violence from its very roots. Senior IPS officers Raswinder Singh Bhati and Daljit Singh Chaudhary were on Wednesday appointed as the chief of the Central Industrial Security Force and the Border Security Force according to an official order. Bhati is a 1990 batch Indian Police Service IPS officer of the Bihar cadre. He has been appointed as the DG of the CISF from the date of assumption of chairs of the post for a tenure up to the date of his superannuation on 30/9/2025, a personal ministry order said. Chaudhary, who is currently the chief of the Sasastra Seema Bal (SSB), has been appointed as the Director General of the BSF for a tenure up to the date of his superannuation on 30/11/2025, it said. Chaudhary is a 1990 batch IPS officer of the Uttar Pradesh cadre. Today is National Sports Day. The day commemorates the birth anniversary of greatest field hockey player Major Dhyan Chand. National Sports Day is celebrated annually on 29 August to emphasize the importance of sports and physical activities and to honor Major Dhyan Chand's legacy in India hockey. Youth Affairs and Sports Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandaviya paid a floral tribute to Major Dhyan Chand at Major Dhyan Chand National Stadium in New Delhi this morning. Talking to media, Dr. Mandaviya said citizens of the country should stay fit and healthy. He stressed that a healthy citizens build a healthy society and a healthy society builds a prosperous country. The minister said that all citizens should take 1 hour out of their busy schedule and play one game of their interest and stay fit. Earlier, Dr. Mandaviya had given a clarion call to all citizens to participate in outdoor sports for at least 1 hour in celebration of the National Sports Day. He said that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has a dream to make India a fit nation and given the slogan, Hilega India, Hilega India. The minister urged citizens to take part in the nationwide celebration today. Union Minister of Road Transport and Highways Nitin Gadkari paid tribute to Major Dhyan Chand on his birth anniversary. He also wished all the countrymen on National Sports Day. Israeli forces launched a large operation in the occupied West Bank overnight and into Wednesday, killing at least 10 Hamas militants, carrying out arrest and sealing of the volatile city of Jenin. The ongoing operation was among the largest in the West Bank in months and a reminder that the Israeli-Palestinian conflict extends far beyond the war in Gaza that began with Hamas' October 7 attack. Israel says it is rooting out West Bank militants to prevent attacks, while Palestinians fear it intends to broaden the war and expel them from terrorists they want for a future state. Lieutenant Colonel Nadav Shoshani, an Israeli military spokesman, said large forces had entered Jenin, long a militant stronghold, as well as Tel Karem and the Al-Farah refugee camp dating to the 1948 Mid-East War, all in northern West Bank. He said Israeli forces killed 3 militants in an airstrike in Tul Karem and 4 in an airstrike in Al-Farah. He said another 5 suspected militants were arrested and that the raids were the first stage of an even larger operation. 4 Palestinians were killed by Israeli fire in Jenin, according to Palestinian officials. Hamas announced that 10 of its fighters had been killed in the West Bank on Wednesday, including 3 of the 4 men killed in Jenin. It was not immediately clear if the 4th was also a fighter. The Israeli military said all of the dead were militants. The governor of Jenin, Kamal Abu al-Rub, said on Palestinian radio that Israeli forces had surrounded the city, blocking exit and entry points and access to hospitals, and ripping up infrastructure in the camp. The Palestinian Health Ministry in the West Bank said Israeli forces had blocked the roads leading to a hospital with dirt barriers and surrounded other medical facilities in Jenin. Sosani said the military was trying to prevent militants from taking shelter in hospitals. An Associated Press reporter saw army vehicles blocking all the entrances to Al-Farah camp. Military jeeps and bulldozers entered the camp and soldiers were seen patrolling its alleyways by foot. Water leaked onto the damaged streets from houses where fighting had ruptured tanks and pipes. Shots rang out every few minutes. Israeli Foreign Minister Israel Katz drew comparisons with Gaza and called for similar measures in the West Bank. Ahead of the presidential elections in the United States scheduled for November this year, more than 200 Republicans who previously worked for former President George W. Bush penned an open letter on Monday endorsing Vice President Kamala Harris for president instead of GOP presidential candidate Donald Trump, the Fox News reported. A group of Republican officials, including several former aides to the president, George H.W. Bush, has endorsed Kamala Harris, urging moderate Republicans and conservative independents to support her. This group had previously opposed Donald Trump in the 2020 election. 4 years ago, President George W. Bush, the late St. John McCain, and the Gov. Mitt Romney alumni came together to warn fellow Republicans that re-electing President Trump would be a disaster for our nation. In those declarations, we stated the plain truth. It's predicting that another 4 years of a Trump presidency would irreparably damage our beloved democracy, the letter said, which was published on Monday by USA Today. We reunite today, joined by new George H.W. Bush alumni, to reinforce our 2020 statements and for the first time jointly declare that we are voting for Vice President Kamala Harris and Gov. Tim Walz this November, the letter added. While acknowledging significant policy disagreements with Kamala Harris, the Republican officials emphasized that the alternative is untenable. Of course, we have plenty of honest ideological disagreements with Vice President Harris and Gov. Walz. That's to be expected. The alternative, however, is simply untenable, the letter said. Meanwhile, Trump accepted the debate with Vice President Kamala Harris, outlining specific conditions and rules for the face-off. Sharing a post on the social media platform Truth, Trump said, "I have reached an agreement with the radical left Democrats for a debate with Comrade Kamala Harris. It will be broadcast live on ABC Fake News, by far the nastiest and most unfair newscaster in the business, on Tuesday, September 10th, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania." The Kremlin on Wednesday dismissed talk by Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky about a plan he has to end the war and said Russia would continue what it calls its special military operation in Ukraine. Zelensky said on Tuesday he would present his plan, full details of which he did not publicly disclose, to U.S. President Joe Biden and his two potential successors. Zelensky, addressing a news conference, said Kyiv's 3-week-old incursion into Russia's Kursk region was part of his plan, but that it also comprised other steps on the economic and diplomatic fronts. The idea, said Zelensky, who is pressing Washington to allow his forces to use long-range U.S. supply arms to strike deep inside Russia, was to force Moscow to end the war. This is not the first time that we have heard such statements from representatives of the Kyiv regime. We are aware of the nature of this Kyiv regime, Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov told reporters when asked about Zelensky's plan. We are continuing our special military operation and will achieve all our goals. Russia is currently engaged in repelling the Ukrainian incursion that began on August 6 and is pressing ahead with its own offensive in the Donetsk region of eastern Ukraine. Peskov also said that Russia supported India's view on the need for a peaceful settlement, but said it was more than obvious that there was no basis for talks right now. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi said on Tuesday that he had told Russian President Vladimir Putin in a phone call that he backed an early, peaceful resolution to the Ukraine conflict days after Modi held talks with Zelensky in Kyiv. Iran's supreme leader opened the door on Tuesday to renew negotiations with the United States over his country's rapidly advancing nuclear program, telling its civilian government there was no harm in engaging with its enemy. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei's remarks set clear red lines for any talks taking place under the government of reformist President Masoud Pezeshkian and renew his warnings that Washington wasn't to be trusted. But his comments mirror those around the time of Iran's 2015 nuclear deal with world powers, which saw Tehran's nuclear program greatly curtailed in exchange for the lifting of economic sanctions. Yet, it remains unclear just how much room Pezeshkian will have to maneuver, particularly as tensions remain high in the wider Middle East over the Israel-Hamas war and as the U.S. prepares for a presidential election in November. This does not mean that we cannot interact with the same energy in certain situations, Khamenei said according to a transcript of his official website. There is no harm in that, but do not place your hopes in them. Khamenei, who has the final say on all state matters, also warned Pezeshkian's cabinet do not trust the enemy. Khamenei, 85, has occasionally urged talks or dismissed them with Washington after then-President Donald Trump unilaterally withdrew the United States from the deal in 2018. There have been indirect talks between Iran and the U.S. in recent years, mediated by Oman and Qatar, two of the United States' Middle East interlocutors when it comes to Iran. Khamenei's remarks came a day after Qatar's Prime Minister visited the country. As for comment, the U.S. State Department told the Associated Press, "We will judge Iran's leadership by their actions, not their words. We have long said that we ultimately view diplomacy as the best way to achieve an effective, sustainable solution with regard to Iran's nuclear program," it said. However, we are far away from anything like that right now given Iran's escalations across the board, including its nuclear escalations and its failure to cooperate with the International Atomic Energy Agency, the United Nations nuclear watchdog. If Iran wants to demonstrate seriousness or a new approach, they should stop nuclear escalations and start meaningful cooperating with the IAEA, it said. Since the deal's collapse, Iran has abandoned all limits that the deal put on its program and enriches uranium to up to 60% purity near weapons-grade levels of 90%. Surveillance cameras installed by the IAEA have been disrupted, while Iran has bared some of the Vienna-based agency's most experienced inspectors. Iranian officials also have increasingly threatened that they could pursue atomic weapons. China's top diplomat Wang Yi on Wednesday warned visiting U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan over supporting the Philippines in the disputed South China Sea, state media reported. The United States must not use bilateral treaties as an excuse to undermine China's sovereignty and territorial integrity, nor should it support or condone the Philippines' actions of infringement, Wang told Sullivan, according to state broadcaster CCTV. Sullivan landed in the Chinese capital on Tuesday for a 3-day trip, saying on arrival he looked forward to a very productive round of conversations with Foreign Minister Wang. Washington's allies Japan and the Philippines have blamed China in the past week for raising regional tensions, with Tokyo accusing Beijing of violating its airspace and Manila calling it the biggest disruptor of peace in Southeast Asia. According to CCTV, Wang emphasized to Sullivan that China is firmly committed to safeguarding its territorial sovereignty and maritime rights over the South China Sea islands. Tensions between Manila and Beijing over disputed reefs and water in the South China's Sea have escalated in recent days. Beijing said on Monday it had taken control measures against 2 Philippine Coast Guard ships that illegally entered the waters near the shoal. Manila said the Chinese vessels had prevented Philippine ships from resupplying their own Coast Guard vessels in the area, blasting the moves as aggressive and calling Beijing the biggest disruptor of peace in the Southeast Asia. Sullivan and Wang have met 5 times over the past year and a half in Washington, Vienna, Malta, and Bangkok, as well as alongside U.S. President Joe Biden and Chinese leader Xi Jinping at a November 2023 summit in California. That is all for today's news, and have a pleasant evening ahead.